Hello and good evening. Welcome to At the Canal. We'll be talking about a very interesting topic today, and it's about a woman who, had 8 kids, 8 children for her husband, and she had three. She had five earlier, and had three later on in 4 years for the man. After he caged her and kept her in a room and was having sex with her in these 4 years. My name is Precious Chukudi, and I'll be discussing this with my co-host here.
Agnes Joroloko.
All right, it's a very, very sad topic to talk about, but we cannot but mention the fact that things like this really happen in our society.
Yeah.
The fact that we've seen stories that are almost alike.
Yeah.
So we've seen parents lock up their children for years.
Yeah.
We've seen spouses lock up either their husband or wife or one of them for years because of some certain things. But this one is one of the one that is very close to our heart because having a woman have 5 children, and all of a sudden in 4 years after that time she had 3 children in that present state. The storyline is that that's the woman's husband, had a girlfriend who apparently told the man that his wife is a witch. Told the woman's husband that his wife is a witch and she deserved to be locked up. Now, the man locked up his wife, and in the process of locking up his wife, one of the things that he did was he would go and have relations with her. Have relations with her with no form of protection whatsoever. This woman will have children and then give birth to these children. As if that one is not even enough, the man in himself would also, serve her bread. And according to what, we heard, the bread is not even like a sweet bread. So it was more like, something that won't even give her like nutrients or whatever in her body. Serve her bread to eat for 4 years. I mean, if you saw the picture on the screen, she looks so emaciated. Imagine someone like that kind of woman, under so much pressure, to even have children in that frail state, in that type of body. It's a very, very, very sad story to see. And then another thing that we also would want to talk about is how the world has become so evil, where people marry their life partners and hope that this will be a journey, a journey that will be a sweet one. I mean, I know people say marriage is not a bed of roses and all of that, but there is hope that the times when you fight your battles as a couple will not be so much compared to the times when you have each other's hand, and then you see all of a sudden a man marries his wife and then relegate her to this level of inhumane treatment. What do you think of this whole situation?
I don't even know where to start because it's really touching. After going through the story, I felt very bad. Really, it's like the question that came to my mind was what is this world turning into? And we really, when you hear this story and you are not married, that fear just grips you like, is this how marriage, or is this what the outcome of some marriages are like? Because we heard of this story. We don't know the one a lot of people are out there facing.
True.
So it's a really touching, the story is really touching, and like I said, I don't even know where to start because if you see it on my face, I'm really, really depressed after going through the story. It's a very bad one, seriously.
All right, there was one part of the story where they mentioned the man told his children that their mother was a witch, and the children obviously heard that their mother was a witch, and everybody. There's a lot of things in this story that we really need to look out for. And the fact that he also told the neighbors that the woman had died, and for a long time coming, nobody asked about her. No neighbor asked about, okay, where is her body or something, like, okay, if this one has died, there should be burial preparations for her. Let's at least say we're preparing to bury her or something, but there's nothing like that. they didn't ask about her, or what of her family too. Her family people. I mean, when people get married, they don't just dump their families, except for now in some present cases where some people say, oh, we're getting married, so bye bye to bye bye to jati jati, bye bye to different things, bye bye to family problem, bye bye to taking shouldering family responsibility. I'm having my own family now, so I don't care about anybody else. I only care about myself. And so, because there are a lot of questions to ask, like what happened to her immediate family? I mean, she can't just have fallen from heaven.
Yeah, she has family.
She definitely has family. And if she doesn't have maybe both parents, she must have somebody that
she has relations. She has uncles, she has aunties, cousins.
People that should have asked about her and say, okay, we've not seen this lady. We need to find out how she's doing or something. No information on those people.
Okay. I would say, looking at this particular aspect, it can be placed in a two-way side, because it can be that before she got married, she doesn't maintain good relationship with those people. There are some certain people like that, and in the family they'll just be saying, okay, since she's getting married, okay, bye-bye. You get it, be going, and that's all. She wraps everybody, like she quits everybody. I'm married, I have a new family, let me focus on my family. You get it? So it can be that she's that kind of person. And the other way around is, to me, it's not ordinary coming from the man, that's the husband. Because it can be that he did something that made the family forget about the lady. Okay. Even the neighbors, because you cannot come today when you have neighbor and we don't see her or we don't see your wife for few weeks, and we ask you telling us that she's dead. It doesn't happen that way. If she's dead, you didn't even mourn her. You don't allow our children to mourn her. You get what I'm saying? She should have church members. If she's not a Christian, she should be a Muslim. She should have people she goes to mosque with. So there are a lot of things. Like I said, it's a two-way thing. It could be that the man did something that made those people forget about it, because a lot of things like this happens. A lot of things like this happen where you see that when something like this happens, a lot of people cannot ask. It's not as if they don't know, but there is that thing that will just bring them down to the fact that they can't come out and ask that what really happened. It can be a burden in a lot of people's heart, in that the neighbors and the families. But the thing is that maybe the man have done something diabolic, to use that to say. He might have done something diabolic that made those people not to come out and ask.
All right, so you're speaking about family now. One of the things that you mentioned, the fact that some people, when they get married, they just abandon their family.
Yeah.
I have a very, very close experience. This one is even it happened to like a friend's sister. Mm-hmm. She had stayed for a long time coming, and she was in her 40s and she didn't get married to anybody, or she had nobody coming for her. Then at that point in time, she saw a guy who was also looking for someone to marry, and she agreed, okay, let's get married. Of which, when they both got married, one of the things that happened was he cut her off from her family. Told her, I'm sorry, your family people cannot come close to you, they can't come to the house. And the funny thing about this whole thing is how her family members are living so close to her, but they are quite far. Yes, because they can't come over to see her and things like that. Till now, she hasn't had children. But then imagine a case where her family people are always around her. They would help her during this trying period of not having kids. They would be like her source of joy, encourage her, and while she's in her waiting process. And now this is one of the issues with when you marry some people like this. Even one of the reasons why I always like to mention that if you're in a relationship, make other people also know that you are in a relationship, because sometimes you can't do the whole judgment yourself. You can't do your own findings. It might be because somebody knows something about this person that will save you from that journey, from entering a journey of regret. There are stories, a lot of stories that will not make it to the papers or make it to the internet. Are stories that we've heard from people to people. Even they happen in our compounds, they happen on our streets. For example, there's also a story of that I know. The lady, when she was a law school student, and while she was in school, she saw this other, undergraduate too like her, and she's like, oh, I'm going to marry this boy and everything. They got married, living together and everything. In between, while doing the whole journey of marriage, cut her off from her family people. He doesn't want to have anything to do with her family people and everything. Now made the woman to completely be the breadwinner of the house. He doesn't provide for anything. Why? Because during the course of them living together in a couple of years, she had all female children, and he said he can't be spending his money for all female children. So he cut her off from her family, saying her family, they are the ones that are making her have all female children. You see, like,
It's funny.
it's really funny. Like, it's funny. How do you say her family is the one making her have all female children? And then because of that, she's living a sham of a life. Having to live in that present condition of where you're just by yourself.
Yeah.
You can't talk nobody to talk to. You're just in a marriage that has caged you, has made you just to be all about, getting married. And it just brings me back to a part where I was talking to somebody and I was saying that before you get married, you were once a human being.
Yeah.
And you must exist as a human being before your marriage. Do you understand?
Yeah.
You must exist as a human being before your marriage. Now this situation now might be one of those type of situation where the man has seen that, okay, the best thing is to just cut her off.
Yeah.
And couples discuss about having kids, how many children they want to have. But we saw a case of where this man kept on making this woman have children against her will. 8 children in this present condition, in this period of where they are saying we're plunging into a second recession. They're having 8 children. Considering the fact that the man is also a bricklayer, it's not a job. How many site work are you going to do? Speaking about looking for site, how many site work are you going to do to now provide for a family of, that's like family of 10,
yeah.
Maybe plus the girlfriend, that's like 11.
Yeah.
How much are you going to give your girlfriend? How much are you going to give your children? To even raise them, to give them proper education, to send them to good schools, to fend for them. That's why we see a lot of children that they turn out and they have maybe kwashiorkor. What do you think of this whole thing?
Well, it's a very bad move, and I can still say, coming from the girlfriend, because it was mentioned that he had a girlfriend, it could still be that lady did something to the man, because this story really need looking at it from every aspect. Every one of it is a suspect, because it can still be that because she was the one that came out to tell the man that the wife is a witch.
You think she must have used Kaya Mata?
Yeah, she might have used Kaya Mata, because you see, men they can, in as much as you are giving them what they want, you can tell them anything and they will do it. That's just
where do you have your proof?
I'm just saying, but that's how it works. It can be that the lady did something diabolic on the man.
Okay.
He might have used Kaya Mata, as you said, on the man that made him believe everything.
So you think those things work?
It works. Seriously, it works. Because I schooled in the north and I've really heard a lot about it.
Okay.
So it works. And even aside from the Kaya Mata, she might have gone, some ladies are very desperate that they can go to any length to have a man. So it could be that she went that far just to deceive the man. But the fault of the man that I'm seeing here is that there are a lot of ways for him to have left the woman, not really caging her and using her, because he caged her and he was still using her. He would have left the family and move on with the lady. We've seen a lot of cases like that. He's not really bringing her, putting her in a room where she urinates, she does everything, and you still go there to produce with her. That's very, very bad. It's really, really bad.
All right. Speaking about that, now one of the things I want to talk about is the fact that you say somebody is a witch,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And you say, in normal you say now winch,
I don't know.
English you say witch, Pidgin you say winch.
Mm.
So you say somebody is a witch, and then you still subject yourself to sleeping with that person. I mean, the normal way is when you call, when people hear witch,
You-
they'll all be scared
Yes,
that
you
this person
stay
is a
away
witch,
from that
and stay away
person.
from the person.
Yeah.
But then you still kept on using this woman, having relations with her, subjecting her to that level.
That's why I said it may be that he's not really acting in his right senses, the man, because the lady just came out to tell him that the wife is a witch. He didn't really get any proof about it. You get it? He didn't really see any reasons. Somebody that he has lived with, that he gave birth to 5 children together, he didn't really notice anything that made her look like a witch. He just wants to do what the lady wants, the girlfriend wants. That's why he just subjected himself to the fact that yes, she says she's a witch. Okay, I agree with her. Then he sneaks to meet her later, because he doesn't believe she's really a witch.
Now, when you look at the picture of that woman, one of the things you notice is that she looks so frail.
Yeah.
Now, imagine someone like her going through having children. Children that she can't even take care of because of how frail you are. I mean, I know that for mothers, they always encourage that they breastfeed their children.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of questions to ask now. Who breastfeed these children? And who helps her have these children. So, because if she's pregnant and she stays in one place, like there's a whole lot of health complications that she must have experienced. Maybe if he cages her like sitting on the floor or whatnot, there's a lot of things that would have happened. Like how is she able to still survive amidst having children for 4 years? Aside having her previous children, like 5 children.
Yeah.
All these things are what it's like in minds of people.
Yeah.
Really, how will this man have subjected this woman? And then you spoke about the man's mental health too. There's a chance that let's just say that what if it's not even a case of Kayamata? What if it's a case of the man is mentally
unstable too? Yeah, that's true.
What if it's a case of maybe he's not really okay? Because one of the things that we take for a joke in this country is the mental health of people.
Yeah.
We say someone would say many are mad, few are roving. There's a way that slang goes. Like every time you think that everybody around you is sane, but maybe they are not really sane. They have one mental health condition that they need medical help for. But because everybody just assumes that okay, everybody's okay. A lot of times you see some people carry out some various actions that they seem to be quite questionable.
Yeah.
And then you're asking yourself that what would make this full-fledged lady or this full-fledged man do something like this? What would make them commit and act like this? And this is why we keep talking about things like this on the canal. This is why we keep talking about things like this, because there are so many questions to be asked. Now, these children by themselves, having to be told that their mom is a witch is something that is very, can have different emotional reaction to them. Imagine having, children that just believe, maybe because their father had told them that your mom is a witch, them moving around with other children in that environment, there's a lot of things going on in their head. Oh, this person has a good mother, my own mother is not a good woman, my mom is a witch. And also too, maybe those children were even hypnotized for them not to even have, because really another question is, what would they have even really done? Even if their father had accused their mother of being, because really their father looked like the only sane person in the room. Someone who was going to give them guidance and everything. So it was just normal for them to, if their father said okay, your mother is a witch and whatever, they would just believe.
And come to think of it, I think the man is really not mentally okay, because going through the story, it stated that she urinates in that room. She does everything, like she doesn't go out. And I don't think somebody that is in his right senses will go to such a room to meet a woman. You get it? A room that is dirty, that is unkept, like they don't sweep, nobody cleans it. She's just there. and he goes there to meet her, that shows that he's really, really not okay mentally. It shows he's really, really not okay.
All right, let's just go on a very short break. When we come back, we'll continue discussing this topic. All right, welcome back. I was still talking about the woman who was locked up for 4 years and had kids, 3 children within the 4 years, and she has 5 children before and making 8 children, and the frail state she is in, and all just because of the man has a girlfriend who the girlfriend said the woman is a witch, and he decided to lock his wife up and even have kids with her. Now, one of the things that we always want to talk about is the fact that, growing up, we people would always see that they can, when your mom is going out or something, she's like, Mama Chikeze, help me take care of my children. You are so assured that she will help you take care of your children. But this is now, it doesn't work that way. You see, everybody literally lives a mind your business type of life. If you don't mind your business, you get what it is. So you see some children, even when they behave in very uncouth manner, you can't correct them because you are afraid of what their parents will say. Exactly, you're afraid of the reaction of their parents. Stop that, sit down. No, don't shout at my child, don't yell at. Before then, it's not just your parents that train you. The whole community, your whole neighbor will train you. You're going to school like this, you have one neighbor or the other that they'll say follow this person because there is trust. Now there's issue of no trust anymore in society, also with the children, because people can no longer correct other people's children. That's why we see cases of people who now grow up to become vagabonds. Children who now, because apparently their parents feel like they've done so great at parenting, and most times, like, your parents are not the only people who train you. The people outside that are part of society are people who train you. You know that for a child, like say train a child up in the way he goes. If you don't mold that child from while the child is growing up, there's a lot of things that you might not be able to correct. Because one of the things I know is that there's a certain age at which parents might not be able to talk to their children anymore, or might not be able to use the rod really anymore. So it might just be, okay, let's have a proper conversation. And the conversation is, if the child wants to listen, the child will listen. If the child doesn't want to listen, the child will not listen. And now, looking at this whole thing, these children might grow up to thinking that this is normal in society. Like, when they grow up, or maybe they are up to the age of where they think they want to have boyfriends or girlfriends, they feel like, oh, maybe their partner is the one hindering them. They can decide to lock that person up and say, after all, this is how my dad solved the problem
with my mom.
Yes, and they also become like a defect to society, because now having people who grew up in a balanced home, or in a place where, in a home that is filled with love, and there's nobody fighting who is a witch or who is not a witch, you know, and they now mixing up with these people, these children who have grown up in a home where they've experienced the level of inhumane act on their mom, it becomes a very big problem. That's one of the reasons why, if you check it in our society these days now, you see some people do things that you just sit down and you're asking yourself, really, what's going on?
Yeah.
Do you understand? Like, can this person really be so evil to even as much as even getting to that level to do something like this to this person?
Yeah.
You know, these are the things that we're talking about.
Really, yeah. It's really not safe in the country anymore. The way you were saying, you know, it has gone beyond that stage where you can leave your children, you can entrust. You know, there are sometimes before you can even tell your neighbors, I'm going for a vigil.
Yeah.
Please, my children are sleeping inside. Help me watch over them. Parents do it that way before, but now you can't try it. There was a story my mom was telling me as of last week. She said a neighbor left her 2 children with the other neighbor that, please let me run and buy something. And when she came back, the neighbor had already sold those children out. This thing is not up to 2 hours. She sold the children out to somebody else. When the woman came back, she was like, Mama, so person, where are my kids? She said, did you give me anything? Because there was no witness. She was like, you didn't give me anything. So it brought up arguments like, where are my children? I asked you to look after them. She said, did you hand them over to me? No, you were just going and you told me to look. I didn't concentrate, I forgot, and all those things. Whereas she has already sold the children out to those that were in need of, we don't know, maybe rituals or something. So it was another person where they were taking the children to. God that intervened for those children was that somebody else saw the children in a car, in the bus where the person entered with the children, and he just called their name. Wisdom, blessing, where are you people going to? He said they are going with uncle. Which uncle? When she looked at him, she started questioning him, you understand? And that's where they caught the guy. The guy said, no, it's the neighbor that sold them to me. How much? Just guess how much? 3,000 naira.
For just
2 children, 3,000 naira, not 300, not 3 million naira, 3,000 naira. And I was like,
I think it just speaks of the level of poverty that
is in the country.
And then, you know, but then let's not digress too much. Let's still talk about the fact that, you know, these children need to be re-examined.
Yeah.
They need to be evaluated because you know, seeing all these things is going to have a strong impact in their future. Even the younger ones that are just being born, you know, the fact that there might be no money to really raise them, because according to the story, the man is a bricklayer, like I said earlier. He's a bricklayer. We know how much bricklayers make. We know that it is most times not even enough to make ends meet. How much more raising 8 children. And I still wonder how the man even managed to have a girlfriend in the midst of everything that is happening. Because at the end of the day, he was even the one that allowed this whole thing happen. Yeah. Because, like, how do you have a girlfriend in period of where you know you can't even fend for your family, you can't take care of your family?
Trying to survive, and you are having a girlfriend. That one too is, it still boils down to the man's mental state, because I see no reason why you are just trying to you are trying to survive. A bricklayer, how much do you earn daily? You have 5 children already. You have a wife, inclusive of yourself. You are 7, and you are trying to bring more people in to the family.
Let's just, you know, let's talk about, you know, issues on mental health. And one of the things that we do know is that we have a lot of people, especially even in our community, struggling with their mental health. It's something that everybody always says, oh, I'm okay. But really, some people are not okay.
They are not okay.
And they're not okay mentally. They are mentally unstable. The way they react to things, the way they, you know, the way they think of things, you know, when things happen to them, you know, they are not okay. And that's one of the reasons why we will always urge that if you have anybody who is, mentally ill, these people need to be taken to the hospital. They need to be treated, they need to be taken care of, because really it is not a death sentence. It's just a health condition that can be taken care of with the right medications. It's a health condition, but once you have these people around you and you keep them, they are causing more harm than good to them. And they start to cause to other people around them. And knowing that having someone who has a breakdown in their mental health, putting them with people who are sane, they would also affect other people. It's just one of all those things. You want to say anything finally before we go?
Yeah, and to me, I just think if you notice your friends, your neighbors, any member of your family is behaving different from the way he or she used to behave, it's better you go close to that person, try to convince that person to visit or consult a doctor. Because the person might be telling you, I'm okay, till he or she does something that is unbelievable to others.
Okay, so this is a place of where people really need to
you
care about other people.
Yes,
other
other
people.
Be
our brother's keeper.
Brother's keeper, to watch out for
brother's
them.
keeper, our sister's keeper.
Yeah, seriously.
Check around you. Don't always be myself alone.
Yes.
Find out.
And also concerning getting married too. In as much as you are getting married, that doesn't mean you should abandon everybody. If you are in a relationship, there are some characters. I know you can never know somebody 100%, but there are some characters that a guy displays that you will know, that will tell you who that person really is, who that person is really going to be in future. Because you cannot get married to somebody that will cut your relationship with families, with friends. Then what are you doing? You are not just getting married to a leader guy. You must make friends. You must have relationship. Because I believe if this woman had good relationship, I don't know, but if she has had good relationship with her families or with her siblings, there are some siblings that you'll be that too close to the extent that people will be thinking other way around concerning the both of you. So if she has had that kind of relationship with her siblings or her family, then you will come and tell me that my daughter is dead, assuming I'm the father, and I'll just forget about it that way. It doesn't work. So in as much as you are getting married, please try to keep good relationships with people. And there are some issues you shouldn't keep quiet about. Even if you are married, there are some things, some behaviors coming from your husband that you shouldn't keep quiet. Or from your wife that you shouldn't keep quiet. Try to open up to some persons, because you don't know who will end up helping you.
Alright, that's all we can take at the canal today. Remember that you can equally like, share, and subscribe on all our social media platforms showing on your screen. I will keep bringing more of this discussion at the canal, where we come here, we trash all the issues. Till I come your way next time, I remain Precious Chukudi, and I have with me my co-host.
Local.
Thank you for watching.